Toastmasters and guests, how many of you start something, you have a project that you're working on, whether it may be a weight loss, maybe a new diet, could be a project at home, and you just dread it. You can't really get started, right? Getting started is the hardest part of a lot of things we do in life. At home, we're working on a home improvement project, and my wife has been on me for months to do this project. I said, hey, we'll get to it. I keep on putting it off, not because I don't want to do it, because I'm really not certain of how to complete it. We're doing flooring and all kinds of changes to the walls, and I'm just not comfortable with how to do it. So I had a couple of guys come over. One's a flooring expert, that's what he does for a living. He's gonna give me some pointers. I had a painter come in, he gave me some pointers on how to do the walls. I'm like, I can do it now. I've got enough confidence. I don't know all the details, but enough to get started. And I think we're that way with Pathways sometimes. We just don't have all the information. We don't have enough to get us comfortable in starting the Pathways. And for new members in the Toastmasters, this sometimes can really be overwhelming. Say, how in the world do I figure out how to get from here to there, right? So today I want to share with you just a few, hopefully some pointers and some tips and some guides on how to get through Pathways. So we're going to talk about how to enter Pathways, how to at least get into it, how to select your path. If it's your first time, you've got to select the path, open your project, and then complete the project. That's our goal, right? Is to complete the project. So once you have your login, you log into Pathways. You know, I do have a pointer. At least the pointer works. Once you get into Toastmasters online, you'll start and click on Pathways. And once you click on Pathways, I have a star by each one of these three items here. If you choose the start page, if you choose a path, or go to base camp, guess what? It takes you to the same location. It takes you to this page right here. And at this page, you think, why do they have all these three big boxes? What in the name of time is this all about? Well, first one, once you get started and choose your path, you won't have to worry about that box any longer, or at least till you complete your path. You're going to work in this part of it normally by going into your base camp, and the navigator is help. You're at home one night, you're trying to figure out how to go through your pathway, and man, I just don't remember. You know, John mentioned how to do this the other day, but I don't remember how to do that. The navigator has many tutorials, documents, as well as videos to help navigate you, if the word navigator, through Pathways. But for today, we're going to continue with a path selection. I've never chose my path. I just started. I've really not get going yet. So the next page you'll be prompted with is this called choosing your path. $20 for your second time. As a new member, this is free, unless you wanted the printed materials. I highly suggest that you not choose the printed materials unless you just do not have access to a printer. If you go to base camp, take your assessment. Once you start into Pathways, you can print each one of these for yourself. But if you do, I think the less than 5% of Toastmasters actually choose the printed materials option. But it is there. It's an option if you like to do that. So, you're ready. Let's go ahead and take my assessment. You take your assessment, you have 11, you go through the assessment, it's maybe, I think there's 25, 30 questions. And it'll give you a suggestion of three paths that might be relevant to you based upon how you answered those questions. So you got 11 paths to choose from. If you don't want to choose one of those three that was selected for you, you can choose whatever. It's just a guide. If you'd like to learn more about what each one of those 11 paths are about, I've got some printed sheets up here. You can do it online, but I like having this little handy print off for me to see what it looks like. Feel free to take one of these at the end of the meeting. So once you get into your path, you started it. There's 5 levels, and it increases in difficulty from level 1 to level 5. In your first level, everybody will do an icebreaker. Then everyone will do an evaluation and feedback. That is actually 2 speeches and evaluation of another speech. So this project involves 3 different components. and then you have your research and presenting. All that is part of level 1. Now level 2, 3, 4, and 5, like I say, they are more difficult and they take longer. Some of them can take up to a year to complete one of the projects in level 5. So just know it's going to take a while to go through each one of these. So now you selected your path, you're ready to go. Go ahead and go into base camp. Once you get into base camp, there's 5 more boxes to choose from here. Navigating base camp is another one of those great tutorials that will show you exactly how to get through it. If you got questions, it probably can be answered through Navigating Base Camp. Your education training script is actually where you actually get started. This is where you go in and work in your project. Feedback is where Jim today is giving me feedback on my speech. I can take that, I can upload it to there, and other feedback from other members. That's in my feedback. Badges is something that Toastmasters comes up with, and I have no earthly idea I use for badges. But if you do something good, you get a badge, just like a token. I don't know what you do with it. Maybe that's $1.50 down at the grocery store and get you a Coca-Cola. And then the last one is your speech evaluations. This is where, again, you can keep your speeches. But today, let's just worry about getting into my transcript, or if I go into my curriculum, it goes to the same place. And that's what I'll do now. So this is mine. Currently, I've already finished my icebreaker, and you see I've already worked in it, so it says launch. I've not started my research and presenting project yet, so I've not activated yet. Also noted up here that there are 4 items in this level. There's 4 that are required in this level, and I've completed 1. When you go into level, everyone will have this information, and you say, how many do I need to complete? Well, it tells you right here. You need to complete, for this level, for level 1, you need to complete 4. All right, you went through this, you go to your assignment, you start to figure out what it is you gotta do, you take your training, and then you assess your skills before you start the training. For the icebreaker, it says, how comfortable are you speaking in front of a audience? Gives you some other things to assess yourself. Then you watch the training. A lot of the training is video driven, a lot of it's text. A lot of it has, you can jump back to this little button right here to go back and forth. If you miss something, you want to go back and take that training again, you can do it again. Now, you finally watched all the training. I've written my speech. I think I'm ready. Before you do your last evaluation, you can go into these resources here. You print out your evaluation resource. I gave Jim a copy of my evaluation resource today. I printed it, I brought it with me today. You can print the entire project. Everything you just covered through the online training is printable. You can go ahead and print it. And for the icebreaker, it gives you an outline. How should you really craft a speech? What's the beginning, middle, and the end looks like? That's what the outline is for. Be sure to use these as you can. Not in Toastmasters Online, but within our own Pellissippi website. Notice the page looks different. You're ready to give your speech. It's written. You get your nerves up. I'm ready to go. You have to let us know you're ready to give the speech. You can either let myself or Ellen know, or preferably you go online. Once you go online, you say, I want to sign up as a speaker. Steve's going to hand around a sheet here in a minute. If you want to sign up for a speech, you do that, and we'll put your information, or we'll sign you up online. Then it's your responsibility to come in here and do 3 things. One is to choose, I'm sure y'all can see that back there, but to choose the speech that you're giving in your level and in your path, okay? There's a drop-down box here. You choose your speech. Then you give it the title. And then you give it the introduction. Steve just gave me an introduction earlier based upon what I typed into this box. He can print it out, bring it. He gives my introductory speech from that information. Once you've done all that, you're ready to go. Let's get in here. You come in here, you deliver one heck of a speech. Bowls everybody over. Everybody's excited. Woo, clapping at the end. You're not done. Go back to Toastmasters Online. Do your post-evaluation. You did a pre-evaluation, pre-speech. Now you give a post-evaluation after your speech. What Toastmasters want to see is you really didn't know what you were doing before you started. After you took the training, applied it in a speech, you actually learned something. I don't know that they'll ever do anything with that information, but it's there. I like to say I always come in with 2s and 3s, and I go to 4s and 5s when I finish. But truthfully, I do. I learn through these things. Now you're complete. You'll get this little notification. You are complete. You're ready to move on. And what does that look like? Well, it looks like, right, I've completed this one. You get a little check mark by it. Now 25% complete with this level. Ready to move on to the next speech. All right, if you have questions, I know I went through sort of fast. I saw Craig put the red card down a long time ago. I know I'm way over my time, but I think it's helpful to the club. If you've got questions, something you saw up here, I'm not quite sure about that, please let me know. That we don't want pathways to be a frustration to any members, right? The frustration should be getting up here in front of people, not how to figure out how to get to this point, okay? So if you got any questions about how to do that, I'd love to talk with you afterwards. And with that, I will now finally turn it over to our Toastmasters.